is our first ever community newsletter to show you what's going on inside Wraith Rain, both the content team, which is us, and what's going on with our members, readers, and listeners, which is you. I am your host, Kat, and this is what's happening in June, as far as we know. First, the business stuff. There are 2 Facebook Live readings scheduled for June 13th and 20th. These will be Empire of Stars readings. And bookending that is the Dragon's Reign podcast on June 6th and June 27th. Vampires Club, the book series, is complete. Book 7 was just released on May 20th. If you like gay vampire romance with a contemporary feel, check this one out. It's a novella series and it goes by quickly, but if you put the books together, it's probably over 200,000 words. And the entire series, like all of the other books, is in Kindle Unlimited. So if you're enrolled in KU, you can borrow them for free. But if you've read the Vampires Club series already and there's a hole in your life where it used to be, don't worry, Wraith is already working on the next book series, which is called Cinders and Ashes. This is a very loose retelling of the Cinderella story. We'll talk more about that next month when book 1 is a bit farther along. Vampires Club 6 audiobook is also out. For you audiobook fans wondering why this took so long, we don't control the timeline. Amazon does, and the time to approve an audiobook might be 6 days, or it could be over 6 weeks, as was the case for VC6. This is the reason audiobooks don't come out at the same time as the Kindle books. Manga news. Dark Earth 11 has started posting on the site. This is the final volume of this visual retelling of the Dark Earth. If you're not familiar with the Dark Earth, it's a huge gay high fantasy romance that involves elves, magic, reincarnation, some gory stuff, a dark church, even dragons, magical swords, and it's 120 chapters. This is the serial. The graphic novel series diverges from the serial story and is a concise and sort of alternate retelling. Speaking of manga, Data Vampire has not been canceled, but Wraith temporarily pulled Mythia off of it starting around January because of a project we're working on behind the scenes. If you've been on the Facebook Live readings, I have all capsed Wraith when she has started to talk about it because we're not ready to talk about it. But it's very cool, very art intensive. Wraith and Mythia are getting back on the Data Vampire horse. Don't worry. Serial story stuff. Nothing is finishing in the next few months, and nothing is starting in the next few months. What's really gotten going is the new kid on the block, Empire of Stars. We're now at chapter 11, which is what happens when you post 4 chapters at a time. And Wraith wants to have a couple really cool, fun discussions about EOS. Number 1 is create an alien. If you were here way back in the beginning of Elven King's Blade, Wraith had a creature feature where members submitted their ideas for beasts and monsters. Several of the dragons for Dragon's Reign were also inspired by members, and so Wraith's going to set up something similar for the aliens of Empire of Stars. The second EOS activity is a fun one, spurred by comments on the live readings. Alien genitalia. Discuss what's underneath Koth's outfit. So she'll want to know your ideas for intriguing interspecies relations. Free stuff this month. Merman Book 1, June 1 through 5. It will be free on Amazon, but of course, if you're in KU, you can just borrow that for free anytime. Bodyguard Book 1, June 15 through 19. And Merman 2, June 29th through July 3rd. We will be sending out emails to remind you of this and also be posting it on Facebook. Empire of Stars chapters are also still open. Anyone can read along as Wraith posts chapters of this sci-fi gay adventure story. We are at 11 chapters, and that's probably around 45,000 words. And of course, there's the Dragon's Reign podcast on YouTube. So that's the end of the official business. Now we're on to the member space. We got so many great suggestions in for what we can do for this section. We can't possibly implement them all now, and we're going to just add them in as we can. Happy birthday to June babies, Alec, Cami, Lil Boo Turner, Jenna the Bee. Happy belated birthday to KB, who was in March, and happy birthday looking ahead to Vera L, who's born in August. So because we are so remote, we've been kind of asking questions on Facebook more. I mean, we're always curious about people who like our page or comment on YouTube or Facebook or new members who sign up. But we're getting more and more participation, which is super awesome. There are also some very talented cooks in the Wraith Rain community. I guess that's not a surprise since there are, thousands of people on our Facebook page alone. But that's kind of easy to forget until you see all of these people that you've never heard from before chiming in. This month, we asked people to share their favorite summer drinks and got some really great recipes, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. I found this really interesting. Georgina says, ice cold hooch lemon cider in a beer garden with friends. Not really a recipe, but never had a better drink or way to drink in the summer. See, I think that totally counts as a recipe because you have the drink and then you place in a beer garden and add friends. Sophie says, ice cold water. Probably not what you were asking for, but when it's really hot, it's all I want. Here is an alcohol-free recipe from Little Trinks for lavender soda. You take a bottle of sparkling water and 2 tablespoons of lavender simple syrup. Lavender syrup, what is that, you say? Well, it is simply lavender flowers extracted in hot sugar water, basically. We'll post the recipe in the notes below. Hannah submits a recipe for rhubarb cordial. You use golden castor sugar, zest and juice of 1 orange, zest and juice of 1 lemon, and chopped rhubarb, and our star ingredient, fresh ginger root. Again, we will post that recipe as well. It sounds awesome. Vera L sends a smoothie recipe. Bananas, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, chia seeds, and spinach for a healthy kick. Throw it into a blender, adjust portions to taste, and serve chilled. I do this all the time with the addition of protein powder because I am a huge nerd. Ginger beer, pineapple juice, and sparkling water. Peach schnapps, blue curacao, coconut rum, and Sprite tastes exactly like a Blue Jolly Rancher. I believe it. Rainbow sherbet, crystal light lemonade, pineapple juice, and ginger ale for a punch. Sweet peach tea, Prosecco, raspberry vodka, and Sprite. Matt says a Blue M, ½ ounce each of vodka, gin, rum, tequila, blue curacao, sweet and sour mix. If you want sparkly, add some Sprite. Shake and pour over ice. It's dangerously refreshing. That sounds like it would knock me on my ass. Honestly, that's a lot of alcohol. I wouldn't be able to have that. I'm more in the sparkling water and iced tea camp myself because I don't drink much at all. However, I do need to tell you about mine and Wraith's favorite summer wine, which is Sweet Star. It's a slightly sweet champagne blend that's actually not too expensive. And we sometimes have it with mint, and we sometimes have it with limoncello to make a more potent cocktail that I can only have one of if I know it's good for me. Anyway, check out Sweet Star. It is really good, even if you don't tend to like sweet wines. And that's it for June. Just like a play is nothing without an audience, a business is really nothing without customers. We are honored that so many of you continue to value what we do enough to exchange your money, time, and attention, and Facebook shares, recommendations, etc. Thank you, and really, if you want to give us ideas about next newsletter or whatever, just hit us up, write us emails, post on Facebook or our YouTube community tab, which is neglected. Anyway, see you next month. Well, probably sooner because of Dragon's Reign and all the other stuff going on. But next official newsletter will be in July. Bye!